And everybody was crazy in the community about this girl. They all wanted to get with her when she showed up.
Yeah.
Even you thought about it.
Well, she's like, what's the word? What do we say? She's crazy, and you know that she's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Monogamish, the show where we describe with fullness and clarity the true nature of all, yes, I said all, modern relationships in today's monogamish matriarchy. I am Douglas Aleutian, author of the forthcoming textbook, Monogamish, How the Matriarchy Came to Rule the World. The main focus of this content I am trying to reach people with is how to survive and thrive in the loneliness epidemic, dystopian, apocalyptic future that is here now and we are currently living in. Today we're back for part 2 with the world famous Will Hill. In part 1, we talked about moving out here from Seattle to Wydaho, which is where we are right now. Wydaho is the confluence between Idaho and Wyoming in the Teton Mountains, and Jackson, Wyoming is the biggest city. This is red state, solid territory where most people are either in the LDS church or the other church.
The Protestant.
The Protestant church, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever that is, yes.
There's LDS and then there's the other.
The others, yes, the others. And so we talked about Will's relationships, his 2 marriages that both divorced out here, yes, divorce, even in the red states. In fact, we talked about how this is where the divorce is happening because nobody's getting married anymore in the blue states. Not very much. But out here, they're still trying to live the dream of the log cabin with the snowy field and the mountains in the background, just like you see on TV. It's like totally a thing. And there's a wood split row fence or a barbed wire fence with horses, and they huff, and the condensation goes out in the winter air from the horses. They're really lawn ornaments around here. And so now we're going to discuss the other relationships, the casual relationships, Will's foray back into the dating scene, and or not. I don't think, I gotta say, Will's not too convinced anymore on the dating scene. After he's tried the Corey Wayne, the Casey Zander, the Dancing Monkey, Hinge, Tinder,
Bumble,
Facebook, church, meetings,
yeah.
The grocery store, which is either Brolin's or Albertsons over
coffee
here.
Shop.
They do have a Whole Foods in Jackson. Yeah. The coffee shop, yes, the coffee shop. So, I want to go through, because I'm trying to explain how it's really not different out here in the red states. We think it is, but it's really not. And the same things that are affecting us in our monogamish relationships that are leading to the loneliness epidemic in the blue states is also happening out here in the red states. And the same kind of what I call toxic relationship behaviors. They're toxic in the sense that, and this is monogamish that's toxic, in the sense that it doesn't work for a sustainable, long-term, healthy relationship. And the men aren't meeting the women at the same place, and we're both missing each other. And so some of the experiences of Will, this is from a man's perspective in the red state zone that we're in. We start out with, and again, we're using letters to represent the names because these are real people and real Americans. And we have a boss babe by the name of D.
Mm.
And D has a husband. And the reason why D is on our radar is she's beautiful, right? Or was.
Was.
Yeah, the Ozempic got her too. The wall comes for all of us, but really a beautiful woman that we thought really had it together. Great job, and husband kind of in the background, AJ is what we call him, and he. Will, you actually started doing a little side business, which is a common one for people, where you were dog sitting.
Yes.
Yeah. That's another big
That's huge.
monogamish era deal where we have the dogs instead of the kids. And this D, she didn't, what was she, 38?
Somewhere around
I mean,
there.
when I first met her was when I was doing the Idaho side to Wyoming side. I hiked all the way across the Tetons after my accident, getting run over by a drunk on my motorcycle in 2023. So and she had done it many times. This is a common thing out here. Fitness babes, and so you were. You got to watching their dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were kind of jealous, about, man, that's, and going, but you were in your relationship with A.
I just had split up with A, and about 2 months, I just learned that what A was doing with the other guy. And so I was hypersensitive to other people's relationships. Are going on around me because I was trying to figure out my own. So
this is a hypervigilance is the word, where you're really just like, I want to do another video called "Walking on Eggshells," but you're really just hyper alert to everybody's relationship and wondering how are they doing it.
And from the outside, these two, excuse me, they look great. And she has it going on. She's well kept. She's
from the outside, you just thought, man, she was just the epitome of perfection.
Yeah,
of the boss babe lifestyle.
Great skin,
and AJ had a job too, right?
Yeah, he had a job.
And they were both making. We used to call them dinks, dual income, no kids. They're both making 100 plus a year.
I don't think he was making that much. I think he's close to that, but she was up in, she's up in the 100 and 180.
she's more than him.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course the dog, and so looks great, but then you go watch the dogs, right? And you got in trouble.
Yeah, so she has like a couple dogs and 2 cats, I think. I think it was 1 cat when I first watched, and it was 2 cats by the time I watched it the second
It's
time.
always adding more.
Yeah, and then she advertised on the community page a few months before that, saying how she wants to be adopt dogs, and so she takes these animals on, and I go in there, and she's trying to like sell me these things, like, don't worry, he's a great dog, blah blah blah, great cat, blah blah blah. And then as I got to watch them, I realized not only were they not great, but they were the most undisciplined animals that you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Well, I mean, we've known a lot. That's a tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough.
Well, I'm
competition.
a dog guy.
Yeah.
Like, but this dog, I mean, it was almost sad how.
And you lost your dog in the divorce.
In
right?
the
again,
both dogs.
The previous dog,
Yeah.
And the new one, Jimmy.
Yeah. And so as I was going in here, I was looking around her house. I'm like, it's a nice house. This is cool. But then they got these animals, and one of them was a little Pomeranian type, orange hair, fluff.
Oh yeah.
It's on chemotherapy. And
Dogs on life support.
Yeah. And I had this. She made me a spreadsheet on how to keep this dog alive
in true boss babe fashion.
Yeah, it was all organized.
She made you a spreadsheet,
and I had to read it like 4 or 5 times.
And she really had to get you trained up.
Yeah,
this is a big responsibility.
Yeah, and so
because they're always going on trips.
Always,
right? To like Europe.
Well,
and
a little side note: she goes on more trips than he does.
Yeah.
And so she goes to Europe alone.
We don't know what's happening.
Yeah. And for like 2 weeks. So if she's gone, he can take care of the dogs. But every once in a while, they decide to take a trip, and at the same time. And so we got this Pomeranian who gets shoved in the bathroom, and then every day you got to clean up the shit and the pee. That was my job, right? And it's a nice tub, nice tiled floor, nice walk-in closet.
And the dogs escaped, right?
Well, I'm going to get to that. That dog was fine. It was it loved me. It wanted to be petted, but she turned the whole area into a dog kennel. So you can't use the tub. There's barely enough room to take a shower.
No kids.
No kids.
But
yeah.
Dogs all over the place.
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, shitting everywhere.
It's like each one is a little horse.
And then she had this other big dog. It was like a mix of a rot and some other thing, but it didn't like me. It was scared of its own. It was scared of its own
rescue dog.
Yeah, it just was timid. It'd just sit there and shake. And that's the one that got loose.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had somewhere to go.
Yeah, everything was great until I had somewhere to go.
And you were looking for him.
Yeah. And no, I wanted to take him out for a walk. Well, we were walking around the loop. He gets free of his thing, and he doesn't want to come in the house. So I spend like 3 hours trying to get him in the house, and I call her, I call AJ, and they're like, "Oh, you'll come in eventually," and he doesn't. But I have a date, so I'm like, well.
Oh, it was a date.
Yeah. And so I'm like, he'll be fine. and I went to this date, and then the girl across the street, she totally ratted me out. Now, up until she ratted me out, they didn't want to speak to me at all. Now, when I was on this date, she called like 100 times, and I'm like,
who was the date with?
Some girl I met off at Hinge.
But nothing remarkable that you remember?
I bought her a $400 steak.
Oh man.
It was the nicest steakhouse, and
Okay, we're gonna get to the girl from Park City with the dog and the steakhouse, but that date didn't go anywhere.
No, because I was on the phone with her all the time, and then so I come home. So I don't remember how I got the dog in the house, and then she calls one last time. She's just upset, and she just starts crying.
She's just freaking out.
Yeah, she's just crying. I'm like, look, the dog's fine. He's in here.
And he's back. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But
and,
she's still freaking out.
Yeah.
And you're a dirty, rotten bastard.
Oh, man.
And you didn't do your job right.
Yeah, and she goes, I don't think I can trust you to watch the dogs again. I was like, all right, cool. I'm cool.
You were like, I'm good.
And I'm good with dogs. Like, I felt bad for the dog, but so a month goes by, and I get a call from her. We can't find anyone to watch our dogs. I'm like, gee, I wonder why. Right?
Yeah.
Can you watch our dogs? And I should have said no.
But the punchline with D is, this is just the beginning of seeing the chinks in the armor, and then you start driving AJ to the airport for different things. And you start suspecting. I remember you calling me up and saying, I think something's going on,
Yeah.
And we're both like,
He just seems angry.
Knowing what we know, right? We're like, okay, well, it's only a matter of time, like she's going to leave him and there's going to be, because why were we speculating? Because he made less money or?
Well, what he wanted was time with her.
Yeah, and she's going off. Yeah. She works, then she's going off on these trips, and he was complaining he wasn't getting enough time.
Yeah, not directly, more of an indirect thing, but I which come to find out I was right, because after they divorced, that was the cause. But I had to learn that afterwards. But I knew I was right. And I just remember that he had this stoic anger look on his face every time I seen
But
him.
A good guy?
Great guy.
A Chad?
No. I think he was
a simp?
A loyal. I think maybe a simp, but he looked like he was a loyal guy. He wasn't a player, but very tall. Any girl would want this guy.
Well, that's a Chad.
Yeah, well, but he wasn't playing the field. He was just he just wanted to. From what I understand of him, and I got to talk to him more than I got to talk to her, was that he was in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Just like most of us.
right before they split, they just celebrated their 10 years in Japan. On this awesome skiing trip, and that was the last time I watched.
Yeah, I remember the day you called me up, and you're like, I think that AJ and it was only like a month ago or something, or a couple months ago. But they're splitting up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one, and then you got this one that I really liked. That you met this girl. We're gonna call her S from Park City.
Yep.
And where did you meet her on?
Hinge.
Yeah. And this is the boss babe, and you're still like, you're telling me, well, dude, I like the boss babes, and you're thinking that, you did okay with A, because even though you guys split up, you still didn't lose money on it, and
I was just heartbroken.
You're heartbroken, and you're like, well, maybe I'll just marry another one, and so you go out. This girl that you're chatting it up with on Hinge, she's like, we find out she's like a psychologist
and well known,
and she has a podcast.
Yeah.
And so I start watching her podcast, right, because I'm super interested in this, right, and God, what was it about? It was about
healing pain, or
Yeah, like you're healing your trauma.
Right.
Yeah, it's I mean it's cliche, but classic. Healing your trauma, and she's all like she's really. I'm watching this and she's positioning herself like and she's written a couple of books, and like she's really got it together. And I'm thinking, wow. This is, and all these, this is becomes a kind of a common theme that you're meeting these kind of women out here in the red states, and she flies up from Park City
Just to
see you, just to go on a date.
Yeah, well, she wanted to go hiking and stuff.
Yeah.
But she lined up a date,
But it was, you were thinking you're going to, meet her on a date, maybe go hiking.
And I've dated girls in Park City before, so.
Yeah, you had another one from Park City from years ago. Yeah, that was a lawyer, right?
No, that's a different story. But no, that one, she was a state senator from the state of Utah, not currently, but she retired from that. And her ex-husband owned a dealership, and so she was like super rich. Yeah, which I couldn't believe she was even speaking to me, because she was, pantsuit type of a chick, like a Hillary Clinton type, but she was hot.
But you are kind of playing the Chad. Right?
Oh, totally.
And all these boss babes are looking for love. And this one, S from Park City. So you're going to go out. There's a place in Jackson. Jackson's very rich. And there's a place called what's it called?
The Cowboy Bar.
The Cowboy Bar. Yeah.
It's very well known. Yeah.
And it's a steakhouse. And she shows up, and what kind of dog does she have?
She has some rescue dog. That's a mixed lab of some kind.
But it's huge.
Giant. A monster dog.
Like 150 pound.
Yeah.
Like giant.
And it has all the decals for it's a service animal and all that all over it. And she had a leash. And
does it have one of those little vest things?
Yeah. And it was like got reflectors on it.
But a huge.
Giant dog, yeah.
And she flies this thing up with her from Park City. And now she's going to take it into
the
$1 million cowboy.
And I almost said no, but I'm like, no, this is going to be great entertainment. But I thought, because she was so well.
And this is like the epitome of a self-help
Yes, she's
modern
actually
day
like
boss babe psychologist.
She was telling me about the next book she was going to write, and so I thought this dog it's got to be well.
I was actually kind of jealous. I'm like, I should be dating a girl like this.
Right, but what threw me off was I thought she was like this smart girl that would at least can afford to buy a well-trained dog.
Well, who would have a well-trained dog? If she's going to have a dog at all. And did she have kids?
I don't think so.
Yeah. They weren't with her.
She was my age or a little bit older than me, so she could have full-grown kids that I wasn't aware of.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't see that anywhere in her profile or in my research.
When I'm in like Chad mode, though, I don't ask those.
Yeah. You don't. I ask too many questions.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't.
But you know better than to ask questions. Yes, and so you're in Chad mode, and you're in the $1 million steakhouse there in the Cowboy Bar.
Well, they tried to stop her,
and so they tried to tell her she couldn't have.
They said the dog was just too big.
Right, because it was.
And then she pulled out a card. Then she gave her this big, lengthy speech, very calm. And she was just talking.
Oh, she had a speech planned, huh?
Yeah.
Is it written out?
No, it's just, you can tell she said it a few times. Though.
She's been through this before.
Yeah, and she's just talking. And she talked for so long, they just said, it, man, whatever, right? And because they were going to lose that argument, right? And I was sitting there waiting, standing right next to her, and I'm just doing this, like, I'm just seeing how long this thing's going to last, right? And then they just...
You've been to the Cowboy Bar lots of times.
Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a real nice place, and you know, tourists from all over the world are going there, and so she brings in this dog, and what happens? It's a steakhouse, right? I mean, you literally have a dog,
and they jam us into the smallest area because this place is packed, so they jam us into the smallest area, and then it was me, her, and this big ass dog, and it took
Where's the dog? Like under the table?
Well, eventually under the table, but it took her quite some time to tell the dog to like sit. And then I realized,
you're going through this whole process.
I'm realizing right there, this dog has no training. Right?
You know what blows me away about these girls like this is like, does it occur to her that you might not like that?
Yeah, no, she was just, she didn't say sorry, or she was just like, yeah, I mean, it's my dog. It's like, I think it seemed to me like she's been on a few dates, you know.
With the dog.
And I don't think anyone's ever called her out. I didn't call her out.
Yeah, because you're still hoping that maybe this will turn out good.
Well, no, my thought process changed. I went from fantasizing about a relationship to...
Which you were previously
to
for
like,
months or a month or
maybe
whatever.
Maybe this is just a short term.
Yeah. A short term, Like, I don't know, can I salvage this?
Well, then I started daydreaming about, well, if we did hook up, like, where would the dog be?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would it be like involved in this?
Yeah, right. Always a question.
Yeah. So we're sitting there eating, and she finally gets the dog to sit, and there's two other people here, and they're co-signing it too because they just think it's the neatest thing.
Oh, look at the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm like, and then they're looking at me, and they're like, so who are you? They're talking to her, and I'm like, date? And they're like, is this your guys' first date? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, gave me this weird look, like, this is, like, they were...
So the dog is really disrupting the whole restaurant.
The whole thing. It's just disrupting us, so we can't have a conversation.
I couldn't imagine, you go
these guys couldn't eat their food because...
And how much is this food at this restaurant?
It's the second most expensive restaurant on the Strip. The first one is right next to it. And it's got these big giant steaks that you can get.
But we're talking several $100s.
At least, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For each person who's there.
Yeah. And it's like one of those joints where you take your wife on an anniversary.
Yeah.
Or some guy like me is an idiot who wants to go in there.
Did she pay?
She paid for herself.
She paid for herself, yeah.
And I paid for myself.
And but that was basically the end of that, though, because I remember like you went separate ways. Like, what do you do with the dog?
Well, we talked for quite a bit, and she was interested in the carnivore diet and stuff. But for the most part, I was the one that shut that one down, and it was against my better judgment because I was lonely, and I'm like, oh man, like.
You had your hopes up because she was a boss babe, and you thought she was cool, and I was like really intrigued, about the psychologist.
The thing that really got me to like change my mind was she started feeding the dog her steak.
Oh yeah,
like this.
So you ordered $1 million steak.
Yeah, and so she was throwing. She was like cutting the steak and then throwing it at the dog. The dog would eat it, and then she ran out of steak. And then the dog stood up and had his nose on my plate, and I'm protecting my plate because I'm paying for $100 steak here, right?
Oh my god!
And I'm hungry. I ain't sharing my steak.
I don't think I would have made it through that date. I think I would have. Would have walked away.
And then the funny thing about that date was she She was telling me about this dating site that she's going to create, and she's just going off on.
Oh, she's going to create a dating site.
Yeah, and she had these great ideas about it, and I'm like, cool, but we met on Hinge or whatever. That seems to be working fine, and she's like, it'd be really cool if we can somehow separate the hookups from the long-term relationships, and they can have their own room. And I'm just listening to her going, this chick, for having like 2 PhDs, I think she had 2 of them.
Yeah, she
is
doesn't
the
know
stupidest
anything.
person
Yeah.
I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody does that at some point. If they're business minded, they're like, well, we could create a dating site and it could solve all these problems, right?
Yeah.
Yet that doesn't seem to happen.
Well, would there be a chat room for a girl with dogs? You know what I mean? Like, I have dogs.
Yeah, and so all the guys want to hook up, but they're not saying that they want to hook up because they know that the game. And all the girls are saying they want a relationship and they don't want to hook up, and so if you separated those two, then it would be all the girls in one room and all the guys in the other room.
And then you call it Hinge.
Yeah. I know they've tried.
Yeah.
So another one we call Jay, local girl that you've had lots of dealings with. Mm-hmm. She's kind of a boss babe look-alike, but she's not. She's really a broke boss.
Broke.
Yeah, but she
dresses the part.
She's got some very large breasts.
Oh, yeah.
And she lures guys in.
Yeah.
And you thought, well, right? But and see, that's kind of where it goes. Is where we learn more, and we think, but then we have a pause, right? And then you've watched her over long period of time, and you found out she's a total psycho.
Yeah.
What kinds of things has she done?
Well, she does the same thing that I do. Like, it's on the dating sites, and then she dates these guys, and then she's super picky for not having any money. Like
they all are.
Yeah.
Seems like super picky.
Yeah,
but she does have something.
She has a big set of.
Yeah.
And she has no problem going on, taking out to eat and letting the guy open the car door for her and all this other stuff. But
so she'll play the trad wife game, right? But she's not a trad wife.
No, she's ghetto, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you break up with her, she will threaten to kill you.
So yeah. This is another interesting thing.
Yeah.
I love this group. It's called Yandere.
Well, the interesting thing about her, though, is that you couldn't tell this by.
You don't know this.
She does go through a lot of guys because they have no idea.
And they think that she's a great trad woman, and she just happens to be single and probably down on her luck.
She don't drink. She doesn't use drugs. She's clean.
She's not particularly a church girl, though.
Well, I think every once in a while, but I think she would be, though, if she liked you.
In the right situation, yeah. And then, but she goes, these guys, why are they breaking up with her?
Well, she's breaking up with them. Yeah, she can't find the one. She's looking for the one.
Yeah, so she's in the looking for the one.
Yeah.
But yet, she's slashed tires.
Well, there's a guy that I know that she threatened to, at least, and I think she actually did, actually. There's a guy who I know that is the only one that I know that broke up with her, and
broke.
And that was the first out of the last 100 guys or whatever that she.
And this is why Casey Zander and be the guy who doesn't want it, and all of a sudden she wants you.
Yeah.
And she's can't figure out. It just breaks her the brain.
Yeah.
Why would he leave me?
Now, that guy was a Chad, or is a
Yeah.
Chad. Now,
And he played her.
No, he liked her.
He liked her.
He liked her, but he also is capable of getting other girls.
Well, and this is a theme that we've seen with a lot of these guys that you've known. There was one that you recently ran into even that was the ex of T that we haven't talked about yet. But then you talk to these guys and they're like nice guys.
Yeah, yeah. They're just regular guys that are doing the same thing I'm doing.
Doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find one.
A healthy relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
And running into this same problem that I'm making the point is ever present in the red states just as much as anywhere else. So single mothers is another thing that we're not seeing that as much in the blue states anymore as in Tom Leykis's days, but it's a big thing out here.
Yeah, and when having one or two is rare. It's actually more like 4 or 5 that you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah,
it's usually LDS girls that either break out of the church or they are still in the church, but they divorced their husband because they met in high school or whatnot, and then they wait till the oldest kid's like 16, and then when they're doing their own thing, they're gone. Then they get a divorce. Then, yeah.
Well, and
there's tons of those.
You met one. So we're getting into the a lot of these gals we call a super mess.
Yeah.
SM for short. And we've met them in the blue states, and they're here in the red states too. Apparently, just like back in the city, these super messes are kind of the opposite of the boss babe.
Yep.
Even though the boss babes we find out are problematic too, but the super messes are maybe in recovery, maybe not, sorta,
or in and out of recovery,
on 1,000 different drugs, hoarders, chronically broke, endless ailments, weird spiritualities, or just plain psychopaths. Now there's one of them that is like that single mother thing. Kay was her name, and see, you actually met her in between wives.
S and A, in between
S and A. Yeah, and she had 11 kids.
11.
Yeah, and she was hot.
Massively. I was like shocked when I found out she had that many kids, and I was looking at her going, how in the heck did 11 kids come out of her?
Well, one of them wasn't hers.
One of them is her oldest kid's kid.
From an SA.
I didn't know that for like a long time. I just thought they were all one, but there's one kid that she just kind of took from her oldest.
But there was a SA, and so she took it on with the 10 other ones.
Yep. And you couldn't tell them apart.
And it was just, it was her.
Yeah, I was in love with her.
Daughters.
Well, I was new to the town. My first wife just left.
And she had like one kid from a bunch of guy, or from one guy, and then like 3 or 4 kids from.
Yeah, and then there's one in between that was just from like a fling. While she was married.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. Like, I had no clue. Like,
and she was still married.
Yeah, which I found out after the fact too.
Which we're finding is a common trend too.
Yeah,
right?
And to her defense, he didn't live with her, and they hated each other.
They were separated.
But they've been married for like 20 years or something like that. Some long time, you know. And
she's out dating.
she's out dating, and she kind of sold that lie like
Where did you meet her?
in the meetings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's the hottest girl there.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always something.
yeah,
Yeah. And she was in a cult?
Well, she was part of the LDS church, and I think this is many years ago, but I think she fell in love with a guy, and he was in a cult, and then he drug her out to some.
So you
ranch
kind
somewhere.
of saw her as like a victim.
Yeah, well, what turned me on to her wasn't that she was just hot, but it was the fact that she said she broke out of the LDS church and just loves God.
And you maybe had a little bit of a fantasy there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And the kids were so well behaved. I mean, these kids were the best kids on the planet.
So it wasn't like the disorderly dogs.
No, it was like.
She was like a good mom.
Yeah, and she had just great kids, except for the oldest one. She wasn't that great, but she was like 25 or something, so she was out of the house.
And she was kind of a boss too, right?
Yeah, she made good dough.
She worked for the state.
Yeah.
And investigating. Not investigating.
No, that's what she does
monitoring.
now. That's what she does now. That's not what she did when I met her. She owned a.
She owned a daycare,
which made sense.
And now she monitors the daycares for the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, and you're still talking to her
well,
a little bit.
I actually like her as a human.
Yeah.
Like, she's cool, and she loves God, and
she's
I don't
just
really
a
judge
trip,
her that much. I just fell in love because she kind of sold this whole idea that she needed a godly man to take care of. And I was new to this LDS thing. And I just thought that was hot. I don't know what it is, but she's like, I need a real man. And I'm like, well, I'm a real man, you know?
Well, yeah, it is hot.
Yeah. And then she had these great kids that would come up to you and say hi and play games, and it was just fun, you know?
So the single moms are a thing. Like
absolutely.
They're all over here. And there's the dog moms, too.
Yeah, you got the single
and
mom.
the dog mom and single mom combination. T is another SM super mess.
Yeah.
She's also a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And T stands for her name, but it also stands for trailer.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, tell me about her.
So I met her when I
talk about a super mess.
I first met her when I first came to Idaho Falls. Before I got
long ago.
Yeah, I've known her for a long time, and I knew the guy she was with too.
And I met her the other day.
Yeah. And
good looking too, you know.
Yeah, she's
100 pounds on a bad day.
Yeah. I mean, and hot. She's hot, and
but she's not going to be for long.
No,
right? She's approaching. It's wearing down. Mm-hmm. You know, the drugs, the alcohol, the dogs, the trailer.
When I first met her, I'd say she was probably the top 10 in the whole town. Like, as far as the hotness goes, like she was way up there.
Yeah.
And my friend was dating her, and he was just shitting tall. Shitting high in tall cotton or something? He was just happier than a clam in sand.
Clam in the sand.
Yeah. And he was a good guy too. Like, he loved her. Yeah,
and you ran into him the other day. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
And his initials T, and he has a really high IQ.
He works on airplanes. He can make anything out of scratch.
An inventor.
Inventor.
Remodels stuff.
Yeah.
Professional snowboarder.
Yeah, when he was a youth.
Yeah. Total Chad.
Yeah.
And he had a kid with her.
A kid, yeah.
And then I guess they split up.
They split off, and she did the same thing that A did. She hooked up with a criminal.
Oh, yes,
she-
your
and he-
second wife.
And
yeah,
she
yeah.
actually this guy actually had a Harley, and she'd ride around with the back of the Harley.
Well, she's perfect size for that.
You're right,
Yeah.
But he actually did beat the living crap out of her, and in and out of jail, and he was on drugs, and then that didn't go well.
And then she's broke.
Broke is a joke.
Broke, as a joke.
Yeah, but
And-
she's got a million guys.
And she's got a million guys that are helping. Fixing binds is what
I call it.
Greg
It's kind of
calls
like the solar system. She's like the sun, and then these guys just kind of orbit around.
Orbiter. Well, those are called beta orbiters.
Beta
right?
orbiters, yeah.
And they'll pay her phone off for.
I watched that in real time. Yeah. Like I actually, I was hanging out with her because I've known her for years, and she's like, "Hey, come over and say hi." So I came over and said hi, and this dude like comes in, and he's just shocked that I'm there, and I'm like,
he thought he was the only one.
yeah, and he was like, and then later on, she gives me a call and says, "Yeah, he thought you and I were something," and I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, he's pissed," and I'm like, I was like, "Why would he be mad?" "I don't know," and I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know?" She's like, "I don't know why he's mad." "Well, is he paying anything of yours?" He's like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah, he was paying for stuff.
He was paying for something.
Yeah. So, but she could have been with this great guy.
So I ran into her ex, and they've been split apart now 4 or 5 years, maybe 3 at the most.
And they share custody.
Of the kid, and
yeah.
he looks like he's 20 years old. Like
kid, you were like there when the kid was a baby. Yeah.
I remember when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I bet she
went to
was
the
one of
baby
those
shower.
little women with the huge baby, huh?
Yeah, and I even went to the baby shower thinking she might have some good-looking friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so what was unique about meeting him the other day?
Is that how he moved on, and she's still caught up. She could have just stayed with him.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's what's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Is you see this just disaster.
Yeah.
And you're like, why didn't you stay with them? Why?
Yeah. And then I ran into her the other night with you, and I says, "Hey, I ran into your ex," and she was like, "Oh, you did?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, I said, "It looks great," and then she goes, "Yeah, I know." Yeah. She didn't like the fact that I said that he looked great. Yeah.
Another one that we know, S, is kind of from down in Swan Valley. And she's another SM super mess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, boy, I talked to her for hours one day, and she told me all these stories about all these like traumatic situations she's been involved in California before moving up here, and she's single. I actually thought about dating her. Went on a hike with her when I was out here recently, single one time, and she's got a bunch of dogs too.
Yeah. She's got one that she doesn't go without.
Yeah. And it turns out she's married.
Yeah, which I didn't know that for like 3 years.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. And then you told me, yeah, dude, she's married.
And I was giving her all this advice because I thought she was cool. I mean, she is cool. And so I'm trying to help her through one relationship after the next, and she's dating this one guy and this date. Then 3 years goes by, and then I learned from someone else she's married. And
Not only is she married, she lives with her husband.
she lives
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. He I guess he lives upstairs or she lives downstairs. I can't remember the story, but so I call her the next time she calls, and I'm like, "Are you married?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, "What do you mean, oh yeah?" And I'm like, she tried to act like it wasn't a secret.
She plays the Christian game
Yeah,
too. She was doing that with me.
And then when me and A split up, she was all over me. She wanted to save me and wrap me up in a. She wanted to wrap me up in a blanket.
And she was texting you every day, and she was like, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Because here's the thing, like, I can be a scumbag. I really can because I'm a dude. But like, I have lines. I'm like, I'm trying to do the right thing. I really am, sincerely. I get on my knees and I pray every day. And then you see this girl that wants to wrap you up, but she's married, and I'm like, no, I just can't do it. And the same thing with the girl with all the kids. I found out 3 months after we dated that she was married the whole time. I had no idea. And I just you get caught, you know, like wanting that someone to admire you.
This would be the it's complicated.
Right. Yeah.
It's complicated.
So if you're ever on a dating site and it says it's complicated, that's what's going on.
That's what's you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I wouldn't suspect that she wouldn't divorce that guy, but they have their name on the houses.
Well, it's a lot of things, you know. She's like with S. You know, houses out here are a minimum $1 million.
And that's for an average.
For just a basic house.
Not granite countertops.
Not with a view of the mountains and, you know, acreage and all that. So she's, you know, living with this guy and owns a house with him, and they're married. So if they ever divorce, the house is the issue.
That's her security.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with the girl with all the...
Well, and they tell you that they're separated, but are they?
Well, that's the thing, is I was dating with the girl with the kids, and she painted this guy out to be this bad man. But she's like, I'm just with him because he has insurance, and then we have all these kids.
Insurance, that's another one,
But the minute we broke up, guess what happened? She got right back with her ex.
Who she wasn't with.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm fooled so easy. Like, I've been around the block, and I know...
Because you want to believe.
Yeah, I want to believe. And I wasn't born... I mean, I'm street smart, right? And I couldn't see that. I take that back. I think I did. I just didn't want to believe it. Yeah.
You want to believe in the fantasy that you want, which is that... Though this is the thing that is so hard about my content, is that the Blackpill or monogamish is crossing over that line to accepting that this is really what's going on. Mm-hmm. And we want to believe the fantasy, like when you were with A, that you guys would grow old together.
I wanted to grow old with them.
And you...
I've never cheated on any girlfriend, but when I'm completely stripped apart from the reality, I get alone, and then I get the spins going on in my head, and then I don't want to be alone. Then what happens is I get on Hinge or something, and then you go on a date, and then it just happens, you know. Then I turn into a whore, but I don't like it. You know, it's not something I enjoy. Like, I enjoy it as it's going on because it feeds the ego and everything, but the next day you're just like, man, like...
Yeah, Will is really committed to... monogamy. Even,
I would love it.
Like, I say monogamy is no longer possible, but that's the fantasy. Monogamish is where you have one committed relation with no other people for a period of time. It's not actually monogamy. Monogamy is until death do us part. Right. But monogamish is
kind of monogamy.
It's like it's a LARP for monogamy. Let's live action role play monogamy, and but you still want that.
And one thing about over here that I didn't experience over there is that after I was done with whatever relationship I was in, all my friends were going after them. That wasn't something that is a different thing than over in Seattle area. I never experienced that till I came here.
You mean where your friends are going after your ex?
They would find out that we were split apart, and then they would think, well, I'm going to go after that.
It's fair game now?
Yeah, it's fair. And they would fight over it. Yeah.
Over your ex?
Yeah, it happened with me with Kay. It happened with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
These different girls. Okay.
Yeah, that's only happened to me over here. That's never happened to me over in Seattle. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not an unlimited supply like it is in the city.
Yeah, because I got with Kay with all the kids, and then we split apart for 3 months, and I got back with her, and then she told me about the 3 guys.
That were your friends?
Close friends. And I confronted them, and they all just, they were trying to get out of it, but then they were like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. And I actually...
And Kay is the one with 11 kids.
Yeah, and they were all over that.
And these other guys are trying
what I didn't know is they've been trying to hit it for a while, and then I come out of nowhere.
And they think, well, if he can, then I can.
Yeah.
So
I think I inspire them a little bit, Yeah.
Now, but then there's, like our old friend Zachary used to say, there's always that one with the red X.
Yeah.
And that one is named P.
Oh, yes.
P. She is a girl who came on the scene around here.
Well, I learned that she's been on the scene for the last 20 years, but she kind of pops in and out.
Yeah, which a lot of them do because there's another small town somewhere.
Yeah, and she hooks up with a guy, moves with him.
And then they go into that small town, And so she got with a guy who was basically a simp. Nice guy, though.
One of my friends.
Yeah, one of your friends, D. And he had a house.
Yeah.
And she moved in with him, right? And everybody was crazy in the community about this girl. They all wanted to get with her when she showed up.
Yeah.
Even you thought about it.
Well, she's like, what's the word? What do we say? She's crazy. And you know that she's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
so she stabbed.
Well, when I seen a picture of her when she was like 22, and she was like a 10, and now for her age, she looks okay. But these guys have known her for a long time. I've only known her for that much. But
and until recently, she skated by for the most part.
Solely her looks.
But nobody suspected she was a psycho killer.
Well, she had other things that she did, like Jay did, but
slashing tires
or the threatening and but she's never actually pulled it off. Yeah,
right. Until D, which was in what was that, 2024? I guess.
Yeah, it's on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, and you never got with her, but you watched this take place.
I was married to A at the time. Yeah.
And so she here's what the court papers say. I'll read it. I'll just keep her name at P for everyone's sake, even though it is public record. P was charged with having willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice aforethought, attempted to kill Mr. H, a human being, by repeatedly stabbing Mr. H with scissors in locations including his head, neck, chest, torso, and kicking and or pushing Mr. H off his second floor loft and onto his kitchen counter and or the floor below, according to Teton County Office of Prosecuting Attorney. She was charged with first-degree attempted murder along rap sheet, and she only got 1.5 years.
Yep.
And somebody, we don't know who, bailed her out with $250,000 bail.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put her up so she can wear her ankle thing.
And put her up.
And live there.
And
nobody knows
currently
who it is. Because
she is living with him.
If it was someone we knew, we would know it, who it was, because it's a small town.
Yeah,
but no one knows. So, like, it's some guy she had on the side, you know.
Yeah, because, you know, how many guys are in those DMs?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time, you know. She's just got them there in her DMs.
Yeah.
Because she's hot, and nobody questioned it until there was blood.
Well, no one cared about the guy either. That's the thing.
She reminds me of Jodi Arias, except the guy didn't die.
Right, the guy didn't die.
Have you talked to him?
Yeah, he said I was the only one that called. You know, it goes back to the whole church thing. Like, like
you're
I was worried about him.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to talk to him.
I was like, hey, dude, are you all right? And then he told me the whole story, and he's like, yeah, I got like stitches all up and down my body, and I was in the ER. And
how many times was it? 18 times.
I think he told me 18
times.
And he actually, this is the whole thing about.
And he fought her off.
No, not really. He was asleep when it happened.
Right, so, but then later he fought her off.
After he got stabbed 10 times, he flew over the top floor and landed on the bottom floor because she shoved him down. And he landed on his countertop.
God. Man.
And then she came down for some more, and he hit her one time and knocked her out.
Wow. That is truly some Fatal Attraction type stuff, man.
So that also goes to play a little side note. You can stab a man many times, but he'll still knock you out.
There is that. Yeah.
Because if I were to
Jodi Arias, now she stabbed him, I think it was 27 times.
Yeah.
Travis Alexander. And case kind of near and dear to my heart from back around 2011 when I was getting divorced from my borderline ex. But she also slit his throat and shot him in the head. Mm. And that's what P failed to do.
Well, she underestimated his right hook, I think.
Mm-hmm. Knocked her out. And then what? Got on the phone?
Called the cops, and the A car came, and
wow.
And nobody cared about him.
I mean, this is a big story, you know, and it's a small town.
Yeah.
And yet, you know,
she played.
Nobody's heard of it.
She played the whole "I'm an addict, alcoholic" routine for the judge, and deferred prosecution and treatment and anger management and all the boxes you can.
Jodi Arias is still in prison.
Yeah.
But P is out on the street.
Yeah.
And another guy is putting her up.
Yep.
Wow.
Knowing the risk.
Boy, you know, I pray to Jesus to protect that man.
Call me. If you're out there, call me.
Yeah, totally. We want to talk to you.
We want to know what kind of sex you're getting to take that risk. Yeah.
So, shifting gears a little bit, S is a woman and D, they're a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so these guys are married, and she's a real beast, and
a pillar in the community.
And a total pillar in the community, just very loud, and I gotta say, you know, she's treated me wonderfully. She's very nice, but just you know, kind of. And D,
well, she's treated me nicely because I've learned to avoid her. You know.
Oh yeah, but she didn't treat everyone nicely.
No.
D, her husband, is just the nicest guy. I met him, remember when we were stacking wood out there?
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
He was bringing all the firewood for the old meeting that we used to have at your house. And so S wears the pants, and she openly admits it to anyone who will listen.
Yeah.
And so the unique thing about them is that S takes in all of these super messes.
Mm-hmm. And
Men and women.
And P was one of them.
And P was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah. And
I remember she called me one day and she's like,
and Jay was totally jealous of P.
yes.
When P showed up on the scene again, because P was stealing the show from all the guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember she called me up and says, yeah, P's got a flat. Will you run out there and fix it? And I said no. I said no. I said no. I don't know what she's capable of.
Yeah,
and I was married.
That's like you know, so such a life-saving move on your part, you know, at that time. And you could have been
a victim.
You could have been that guy. Yeah.
Well, I was also married to A at the time, and I'm loyal, so I'm like, no, I don't help strange girls that are extremely hot on the side of the road that are.
But
crazy.
S and D, S is a hardcore feminist, wouldn't you say? But she doesn't say that.
The thing is that she pretends to be conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she lives in a red state.
But she wears the pants.
Loves the country.
Absolutely.
Loves the wilderness.
She's not a trad wife by any stretch.
No, she just inherited dogs. They had no dogs for the longest time, and then all of a sudden she inherited like 3 or 4 of them, and one of them will attack you. Like it'll come after.
These are rescue dogs also.
And well, one of the rescue dogs are for one of her kids.
And
then one of them's a French bulldog that's worth thousands of dollars. But all of these dogs
together,
they're not trained in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I watched them one night and I trained them.
So you got into watching them.
Yeah. And I
that's right. I remember.
Yeah, I had them trained within like 3 hours.
And wasn't it like you smacked one of them?
No, I used the.
Oh yeah. It had a collar that had electroshock, but she never used.
D was like really paranoid that I might get bit, and he's like, "Well, if."
He told you in case of emergency.
He's like, case of emergency, you know, like, and I'm like, all right. Well, he came at me, and before he got 5 feet from him, I'm like, I wasn't even gonna mess around. And by the end of the night, I had them all like licking out of my hand. See, that's what confuses me, is that they're all good dogs, but they can't take 2 minutes out to train them. Like, what's up with that?
Well, my theory is that behavior of the out of control dog is stimulating a part of the brain that we all have that is meant to be taking care of babies and children. And this is subconscious to a certain extent, that this is filling the void. And that's why we have the dogs and the dog products and the dog medical system that is now taking over the kid.
Do you know you can get insurance now for your dog?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like health insurance.
They cremate them and give them headstones and they got MRI. I remember
when we say dogs are the new kids, that's no joke.
I used to put in MRI machines, not put them in, but pour the concrete for those things. We used to go to the vets and put MRI machines.
I want the viewers to be able to see this.
What's up? Oh.
I don't know if you can really see that. That's the Teton Mountains right there. There you can kind of see it there, just barely at the top of your screen. Oh, let me move this up. Yeah. That's where we're at. And it's sunset right now on the Tetons. This is a pretty regular thing where they turn red like that. And this is what you see in all of the movies, Yellowstone. And this is the Idaho side. The Wyoming side is even more spectacular. But this is our red state. So another thing that we don't think happens in the red states is, well, we Brokeback Mountain kind of keyed us into it, right? Now, I didn't watch that, but there are, believe it or not, there are gays out here.
Tons.
Lots.
Lots.
Yeah. The stereotype is it's all anti this and that. And so you've known something. When you and S broke up, you got a new roommate, right? And that was B.
Yeah.
Our friend, he's a friend of mine too, and B is a top.
Yes.
Yeah.
A unicorn.
Explaining this stuff to us, right? Because we don't know,
he's the one that actually explained it to me because I had no idea.
Yeah, he's what a top is actually. And what a bottom is. Yeah.
And what a unicorn is.
Hey, what is a unicorn?
It's when you all you are is a top and you're a handsome guy. Yeah.
This is in the gay world.
You don't do anything else but top, and you're super handsome, very masculine. That's a
unicorn.
Yeah, it's like the world's his oyster.
Yeah, and it really is, right?
Yeah.
He's like top boss.
Yes.
Of all the gays, at least a lot of them, because there's also a lot of married guys that, and so you learned about all this, right?
Yeah, he dated a lot of guys out of the LDS church.
Out of the LDS, and so if you are LDS. You grow up LDS and you have to get married, and this is, and so they do, and they have children, but they live a secret life.
They sure do.
Also, and so, B, he's cool, super, nice, fun guy, and he's fairly conservative.
I'd say so.
Yeah, but there's other ones that are not fairly conservative. One that we call T, and he is a total social justice warrior.
Yeah,
and
I think he's still in the closet.
Right. Yeah. He is. He dates chicks. But we have it from reputable sources. That what does he do?
I have credible sources.
He's in the closet about it, but he's also a social justice warrior.
He's always for causes that don't need to be examined. Like he tries to start these inclusive events, and no one will show up to it because these guys that he's so-called representing are fine. They're like, yeah, I don't need your help. Like I'm good. Like
he's representing. He
like puts it upon himself to represent.
So like Native Americans,
gays, Native Americans, trans. There's not a whole lot of trans here.
Yeah.
There are trans here, but not a whole lot. And he just makes himself the guy to take care of these poor souls.
So everything but straight Christian.
He hates Christianity.
Yeah.
So right now he's trying to do.
He's in a bad place to be.
Yeah. And he's got this. Crazy,
that's what surprises me though, is how much of this there is. Over here.
Yeah. So when there was actually a gay pride. Parade.
Yeah, they tried to have a gay pride parade.
They did. They succeeded in Jackson, and it wasn't very big, but he was spearheading that whole thing. He was getting people to show up, and And there's like 4 or 5 of them out there with signs, and we're like,
were there any gay cowboys? Like,
oh yeah, there's tons.
with like the gay cowboy
Yeah,
hat
no, there's tons of gay cowboys out here, tons. But they don't want his help. They think he's weird.
Yeah, they're like normal guys, right?
Yeah, no, I've talked to them.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah,
yeah.
that dude's weird.
Yeah, but it's the whole social justice woke thing, but the most of the people that are gay are just normal people.
Dude, I get my eggs from the gay cowboy, and he's cool. Like,
Well, that's the thing. A lot of gay guys are super cool. Yeah.
He asked me how my day is. You know, he's actually really nice. Like, he found out I went through a divorce like a year afterwards. So he's just more of an acquaintance, and he was like, "That's so sad. I mean, what a bitch." He got my back. He's like, "Why did you guys get a divorce?" And I told him, and he was like, "That's crazy."
Well, you know, gay marriages get along better than straight marriages, and definitely better than lesbian marriages. We hear are the worst, the highest for domestic violence is what I hear. Now, what about dating groups? So you've gotten involved with some Facebook
dating. Yeah, that's
what is it like called? Is it like
just Facebook dating? It's like a group though.
For the area.
For the area, yeah. So they go. We just kind of group up and go to a dance hall, or we go to a guy's house, do game night and stuff. And
you thought, well, maybe this is a way to meet people instead of the dating apps.
I kind of burned through the dating app scene because I just got burned out, you know, and I wanted to look for like kind of like a wife or something, you know. And I thought, well, if they're not on the dating apps, maybe they'll be. I just didn't know, but I went on a date with this girl from Hinge, and she told me about this dating group thing, and she wanted me to go, so I said okay, yeah. So I went and started showing up to them, but there's less action there than there are on the.
Well, but what you found though, this is what I find fascinating, is that these dating groups are really organized and dominated by the boss women.
Yes. And there's a hierarchy too.
And there's a whole hierarchy, bosses.
You can't have one girl hotter than the other girl. Like there might be 5 hot girls, but there's one that rules them all. Like, so there's like hot number 1, hot number 2, hot number 3, and the hottest girl is always in charge.
Really? Mm-hmm. The hottest girl is the
one.
Well,
at least that's my experience. Yeah. She's the one that spearheads the whole thing, and so you got to imagine if she's spearheading.
That was A?
No, I can't. No, she's like 3 on that.
Oh, really? Because you were into A.
I was into A. Yeah. And I screwed that one up because I shouldn't have joined the dating group.
Because being in the dating group, it turns out they can't really get with any guys that are in the dating group.
That's not what it's about.
It's not. It's a tea party.
And so if I would have got with her outside the dating group, I'd have been fine. But since I was in the dating group, all the other girls will judge you, and they'll report back to her on what kind of a guy you are.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But if you're just on the dating app, no one knows.
So, and you have to, this is another thing that we figured out. You have to pick one, right? Because if whatever one that you start to get with, then now you can't get with any of the other ones because they'll all be girl code or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like a social contract that you're kind of signing there.
You'll have to like not go for like a year.
Right? Yeah. and that's what I did. I was in the dating group. Then me and A got back together, so I quit the dating group. And then I went back after a year, and it was a whole new set. So I was all right. But the funny thing is 90% of them are, it's the funniest thing. We went around this huge like circle thing, and we all had to like say our name, what town we live in, what we do for work, and why we're here or whatever. And these are all like 4s and 5s. Like, and all of them are going off on their exes on how he's a douchebag and this and that, and they're looking for their one. They actually
This was
that.
like a Christmas party you went to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
At some
and they were
guy's
saying
house.
I'm looking for the one, and I'm like, well, you're gonna have to look pretty hard. I mean,
They're all looking for the one,
Yeah.
of course, which is, one of my core themes.
yeah,
And there's the one's never good enough.
Yeah.
They never find the one that's good enough.
yeah,
But the mythical twin flame or soulmate is out there somewhere, just not here. But you say that they did all hook up, right? They
Well, no, the hottest one ended up getting, and she's not even that hot. She's
wasn't
like
it several of them though that they got
Well-
boyfriends, but not from the group.
Well, the only one did, but they're still in charge of the group. So the hottest one hooked up with the hottest guy in the group, but he's a major simp. Like, when I'm talking, he makes me look like Donald Trump, like, I mean, for real. And he thinks he's a comedian, and he's not. And then he hooked up with the hottest girl, which is, she's not really that hot. But now as a team, they're running this thing now, right?
And so they're hooked up and they're running the dating group.
Then the girl I was into, she did getting a man, but he's from out of state. And then she still shows up to the dating group.
Well, that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
they got guys, but not from the group.
No.
And so they changed the name of the. It's no longer a dating group.
It's the Adventures group.
It's an adventure group.
Yeah, and so there's one more thing that happened. The last time I went, there was a girl who really was into me, but she was definitely not my type, right? And I was being really nice to her, and
because you have high standards too.
I do.
I'm always telling Will that
lower
he
my
has
standard.
he needs to lower his standard.
But I was cool to her, and I don't judge, and she ended up meeting a guy off of Hinge. Well, then she dragged him to this group, which I can't imagine anybody dragging me to a singles group. It's so weird. And then,
Well, you did when you got back together with A, didn't you bring her to one of the events?
No, I didn't. I brought her to the same events, but not at the same time.
Wasn't she in there somehow?
She joined it.
On Facebook.
Yeah, but she never participated.
But it's still kind of interesting, you get back with your ex for a period, and then she joins the group too. And
she was getting over that mess, and I was trying to encourage her. There's nice guys out there, and what better place than that place? And they're nice guys.
So you're encouraging your ex-wife, A,
Yeah.
that there's, right, because this is the argument that we always have, that there is, if you're looking for a simp,
There's tons.
there's tons of them. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Just that you don't like them.
Yeah, but you want the criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so she was into me. I came to the group after a year, and she brought this other guy in from outside the group. And he's a cool guy. He's probably a dweeb, but she couldn't wait to come up to me and say, you can't hit on me, which I never did, because I'm with a guy now, a really good guy, and I'm like, well, congratulations, sweet, I'm happy for you, and so then she sat on the other side of the room, like, I don't know what that was all about, I never once led her on, not one time, so I don't know. It's a joke, is pretty much what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I can see that. Yeah. I have no interest in being a part of any tea party. And this is a big thing in the sphere of dating and relationships, is that women are trying to have these groups and these fun events, and then the men are not really showing up.
Yeah.
And they're complaining about
it's like 10-1 with the dating.
So you think that this is going to be a real winning situation, and you find out that if you do show up, they're not interested in you.
No.
Because they're all kind of competing too, and that goes into it too. And you know, guys know this from going back a long time, that one kind of rule number one with meeting a girl, if you're like at a bar or wherever, is that you need to get her alone, away from her friends, right?
Yeah, and see, I screwed up. I shouldn't have went to that. You know, it wasn't even A that invited me. Now I remember, it was the hot one that invited me. She like somehow Facebooked me and wanted me to come to the singles group, and I think she was competing with A. Because she was like, you should come to the single. She tried to peel me away from her.
There's a lot of games going on.
Yeah, a lot of games.
We don't even know
I was looking at her
yeah.
page, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's kind of hot. Maybe she likes me, you know.
So another thing in the red state that is, we think doesn't have, we think over here you can have free speech and there's no cancellation, and men are men and you can just say what's on your mind. But you're finding that there's a lot of cancel culture over here, and like recently with D and AJ splitting up, Jay moved the tire stabber.
Yeah.
She moved in.
Yep.
With
D.
Beautiful boss babe D.
Yeah.
And
she's also a scammer.
And so I'm like, you got to talk to AJ because you know him. He's a friend of yours, and he's gone. We don't know where he is.
I heard he went back to the East Coast.
But you can't talk to AJ because if you do, this is how things are around here. It's going to get back to D, and she is going to tell Jay. And Jay is going to come after you.
She's gonna want to fight. Yeah. And I ain't about to fight her.
And she's going to go ape shit on you.
Mm-hmm. And probably in front of an audience too.
Yeah, definitely. That's a key. You know, well, this is cancel culture in general. Is that it's about shaming.
Yeah.
And making you feel like you're the bad guy for saying something that is obvious that everybody's thinking, but you're not allowed to say. So you walk on eggshells, which is forthcoming video that I'm working on about that you can't really. You have to be careful what you say because it's such a small community that, you're always going to run into people and everybody knows everybody, especially over a long period of time. Recently, there was an issue with the school. Right. That's a private school, right? School. And is it a preschool only?
No, it's K through 8, I think.
K through 8, yeah. And the kid that you share with A, you're bringing her to school, and you found out that you got an email, and the email was that they had fired her teacher,
right? But
they didn't say why.
Well, they made it sound like they said, please don't judge, please don't take sides. And I'm like, what the hell did she do? Why do I got to judge and why do I got to take sides?
Well, and you liked her, right?
Yeah, I thought she was cool. Yeah.
She was a great teacher.
Yeah.
And you had a relationship.
Well, enough to know that my daughter liked her. I seen her work with the kids. She seemed fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's had her for 3 years now.
Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much watched her grow up a little bit.
Yeah, and she's just fired, just cut loose.
Yeah, and then they make statements like, don't judge, don't take sides, and so I email back and I'm like, why'd she get fired? And then it started this whole drama thing.
And then A
which is my ex.
Was she on the email or something?
No, I sent her a screenshot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
okay, and that's when
she just
all
got
hell broke loose.
pissed. And I'm like, I don't know. My email was nice, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then they emailed me again later on that day and said, well, it was a personal matter. And then I emailed back, well, why didn't you just say that? So it's got to be more than that. And the thing
personal is person L.
No, it's personal.
Okay.
She had a personal problem.
What does that mean, though?
That's my point. Things in red states.
You don't get fired for a personal problem, like I mean, it could. So it makes your mind wander, though.
Yeah, well, they used words like take sides. It's like, well, I didn't know I was on a side.
Which side am I supposed to take?
Yeah. Well, which side was I on in the first place? Because they said don't take sides. It's like, well, which side am I on?
You mean their sides?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I emailed her, and so the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're in a red state or a blue state. Like things are hidden. Like it's in everywhere you go too. It's not just there. It's everywhere.
I think it's almost more hidden in the red state.
Yeah, and there's laws to protect. So she could be doing some weird thing, and I'm never going to know.
You don't know what your kid was exposed to, or whether maybe she was wrongfully fired, and you'd be mad about that.
But what it did do is it started this huge drama. And all I did was ask a question.
That's all it takes. And now A's mad at you.
Yeah.
Right? And see, I think that there's something, I kind of tried to explain the psychology to you that that all these people kind of work together, and now A's got to answer for you. Why is he creating problems?
Right.
Because A knew not to ask questions.
Yeah.
Right? They instinctively know, oh, this is coded language, and then don't ask questions. But I do think it's a masculine thing to just be like, well, why do we have to all talk in secrets? Why can't we just
put it out in the light?
Yeah. Let people decide, because we're big boys. We're mature enough, we can handle it.
Yeah.
But
well, I want to know if my daughter should be going there. If they're letting people go and they're not supposed to take a side. It's not like I was trying to pry. I was just like, my kid goes there,
So, moving towards the end here, the red state, the loneliness epidemic, is it better here or worse?
I actually think it's worse as far as being alone because there's just more things. Like when you're alone, you need something to do, and at least it's just my experience here in Idaho Falls and in this area is that every time I had a crisis or a breakup, no one called. It's just really bizarre. The church doesn't even call. It's like everyone is like so involved in their own
because that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I'm a good church guy. Like I actually do church better than the people who lead the church as far as attendance goes. And I don't cause problems. I don't ask questions. I don't do any of that. And it just kind of blows my mind. It just kind of makes you feel like you did something wrong. And I know I'm not alone because there's a lot of guys who experience that I've met. The guy that I called when he got stabbed, experiencing the same thing. I was the only guy that called him. I was the only guy, But when a girl gets like wounded, like Dee just is getting divorced with AJ, and she's got the whole block there, Just, hey, let me know if I can help.
And she's the one who's divorcing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was it that wants a divorce?
She
He was getting too needy.
Well, no, it was she wasn't being honest with herself.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what
yes.
she's telling everybody.
Yes, she was, and so now
She never was in love with him in the first place, I guess. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's like the guy is a stand-up guy.
But what we do know is that there is a matter of timing.
Yeah.
And we could see it coming.
I suspected it like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering that when I met her because I'm like,
well, I
never met him.
My first suspicion was that she drug him over here.
Yeah.
She wanted to be next to the Teton Mountains.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go.
Yeah, he's from the East Coast.
Yeah,
he didn't even want to be here.
So he did it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, letting her lead. Yeah. Which is symptomatic of the matriarchy. And then we have, I wanted to mention R, who you live with, and reason why I think he's important is he's like 73, and this is a new normal now. I mean, this is actually a bachelor house. You, me, and him have been here, and talking, and he's a totally cool guy. Loves to fly fish and stuff, and he's living the dream. But he was married more than once, and didn't he have a wife here? And divorced, and now we're living alone. And this is a growing segment of the population as a whole. This is what we're going to be seeing. Men and women. A is now living alone.
Well, she'll have a man.
Yeah, until she doesn't.
Until she doesn't. I mean, the thing is, like, to point out too, is like they choose when to move on. So like I'll be bent up over her, and she'll just get on the dating site within, she'll have a date.
You've been kind of...
and she'll just be on a date next week, and then if they end up hooking up, that's it. That's the new man.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the final lightning round questions. This is just a little fun part to wrap it up, and I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to answer right off the top of your head with like just 1 or 2 sentences.
All right.
What do you think the red pill is?
It's a movement of reality versus the fantasy world.
That's a good,
what's perceived and what's actually true.
Yeah. Good. What do you think the black pill is?
It's when you accept the truth. So you're not accepting it.
You're not fully black pilled.
No, I'm in between.
You're working.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm in a recovery program.
Your own recovery program.
I'm a recovering simp. Oh, I used to be a Chad. I'm like caught between a.
Then you were a simp. Then you were a Chad again.
Yeah. I'm like. Yeah.
You're trying not to be a simp again.
No, I'm trying.
The reason is simps suffer a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is marriage still a thing?
I don't think so. I think it can be in rare circumstances, but it's not like if you were an alien that came down to the earth, you'd be like, they do this weird like ritual and they say all these words, but then they do something else.
Yeah, what's going on? What is this? Yeah, you would be confused, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd be confused.
Yeah, you'd be really confused.
Yeah.
Who has it better, men or women?
As far as what?
Just life.
Oh, women. If you're above a 6, if your looks are between a 6 and a 10, it's the world is your oyster.
So women. Are women getting worse or better?
They're getting worse. They started out bad, they just got worse. I do not hate women, though. I love women.
That's our problem.
Yeah. That's my problem, is I love these.
Yes, we have a hard time
Yeah.
with hate when it comes to women.
Yeah.
And so I want to wrap up with a quote from the Bible
Oh, okay.
that you told me about a while ago. That's one of your favorite quotes. It's Psalm 51.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. Psalm of David.
16 and 17.
Don't remember the sins of my youth.
For you will not delight in sacrifice, or I would give it. You will not be pleased with a burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, every time I pray, I'm in a broken spirit, so, you know.
Like, subscribe, and comment. The world famous Will Hill, people. Let me know how you relate to Will in the comments. Don't be shy, but do be respectful. Thank you for watching. May 2026 fulfill all your goals. And may God be with you. I'll see you soon.